morning, dear children. Now we will see the learning objectives of this lesson. To trace the evolution of the judicial system, to understand the hierarchical structure of the Indian judiciary, to explain the jurisdiction of Supreme Court, High Court and subordinate courts, to understand the need for the independent judiciary, to know the differences between civil law and criminal law. Dear children, the judicial system of a country needs to be efficient in order to ensure proper justice to all. India as a single, unified and integrated judicial system. Judiciary plays an important role as an organ of the government. It administers justice, settles disputes, interprets laws, protects fundamental rights, and acts as guardian of the Constitution. The Indian Constitution protects the citizens from any partial judgment, and this gives the power to the judiciary to make decisions based on the rules of the law in case of any dispute. Due to such authority, the judiciary of the country is an independent body. Dear children, what is law? Yes, it is a system of rules imposed through a government or institution to govern people. What is judiciary? Yes, in law, the judiciary or judicial system is the system of courts which administers justice in the name of the state. Now we will see the evolution of Indian judiciary. The evolution of Indian judiciary consists of judiciary during ancient period, judiciary during medieval period, judiciary during modern period. First we will see judiciary during ancient period. During ancient times, the concept of justice was linked with religion. The king was regarded as the fountainhead of justice. Most of the king's courts dispensed justice according to dharma, that is, righteousness and duty. A set of conventional laws, dharmic laws, governed not only the individual but also the society. The republics of Ghana had their own system of law. Dear children, what do you mean by Ghanas? Yes, Ghanas refers to a type of republic or oligarchy in the eastern part of the Indian subcontinent. We find the existence of Kuliga court. Amongst the Vajis, there was a board of 8 Kuligas for the investigation of criminal cases. Appeal proceeded from Kula courts to Ghana courts. Next one, judiciary during medieval period. The Tughlaq period saw the compilation of the Code of Civil Procedure. The code prescribed details of the procedure and the law in several matters. It was written in Arabic and was translated into Persian. This was followed till the reign of Aurangzeb. Next one, judiciary during modern period. The Indian judicial system and laws we have today was formed by the British during the colonial rule in the country. Dear children, what does colonial rule? Yes, the policy or practice of a wealthy or powerful nations maintaining or extending its control over other countries, especially in establishing settlements or exploiting resources. The beginning of Indian codified common law is traced back to 1727, when the Mayor's Court in Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta were established by the East India Company. Regulating Act of 1773 made provision for the formation of Supreme Court. A Supreme Court was established for the first time at Fort Williams in Calcutta. Sir Elijah Impey was appointed as Chief Justice of that court. In 1801 and in 1824, Supreme Courts were established in Madras and Bombay. These Supreme Courts functioned until 1862, when they were replaced by the High Court at all the three places. Warren Hastings established Mufassal Diwani Adalat to resolve civil disputes and Mufassal Adalat to resolve criminal disputes. The appeals from these courts could be taken to Civil Court of Appeal and Criminal Court of Appeal. Lord Cornwallis reorganized the civil and criminal judicial system. Under Cornwallis, the district court was abolished and circuit court was set up at Calcutta, Dhaka, Murshidabad and Patna. During the period of William Bentinck, 4 circuit courts were abolished. The Calcutta High Court is the oldest High Court in the country. It established in 1862, whereas the Allahabad High Court is the largest court. Diwani Adalat and Nizamat Adalat were established at Allahabad. A law commission was set up by Macaulay, which codified the Indian laws. On the basis of this commission, a Civil Procedure Code of 1859 and Indian Penal Code of 1860 and a Criminal Procedure Code 1861 were prepared. The Government of India Act 1935 created Federal Court. It was not the highest court, as appeal could lie in certain situations to the Privy Council in England. The jurisdiction of Privy Council was abolished by the abolition of the Privy Council Jurisdiction Act 1949. The Supreme Court of India was inaugurated on 28th January 1950. Now we will see judiciary and constitution. Dear children, what is constitution? Yes, a set of principles which may be written or unwritten that establishes the distribution of power within a political system, relationship between political institutions, the limits of government jurisdiction, the rights of citizen and the method of amending the constitution itself. India framed its own constitution. Among the noble aim and objectives of the constitution, the founding fathers accorded the highest place to justice. During British period, Indian had neither law nor courts of their own, and both the law and the courts had been designed for the colonial power. The Constituent Assembly members, therefore, tried to ensure the independence of the courts with the full power of judicial review. Supreme Court rules 1966 are framed under Article 145 of the Constitution to regulate the practice and procedure of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of India is the highest court of the land as established by Part 5, the Union, under Chapter 4, titled the Union Judiciary, and Part 6, the State, under Chapter 6, titled Subordinate Courts of the Constitution of India. Articles 124 to 147 of the Constitution of India lay down the composition and jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of India. The first political philosopher who propounded the idea of an independent judiciary was Montesquieu. He was the famous French philosopher. He believed in the theory of separation of powers of the three branches of the government, that is, legislature, executive, and judiciary. Dear children, what is the meaning of legislature? Legislature is a group of people who vote for new laws. For example, in a state or country. What is executive? A person who has the authority to carry out administrative duties. In the central government, the executive consists of President, Vice President, Prime Minister, and a Council of Ministers. In the state government, executive consists of Governor, Chief Minister, and a Council of Ministers. What is judiciary? Judiciary is the third organ of the government. It plays a vital role in protecting the rights and freedom of the citizens. It also plays an important role in analyzing and interpreting the provisions of laws and the Constitution. Now we will see structure of courts in India. There are three different levels of courts in our country. They are Supreme Court of India, High Court, District Court, and subordinate courts. First we will see Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India is the supreme judicial body of India and the highest court of India under the Constitution. It is the most senior constitutional court and has the power of judicial review. Its decisions are binding on all courts. It can transfer judges of high courts. It can move cases from any courts to itself. It can transfer cases from one high court to another. Next we will see High Court. It can hear appeals from lower courts. It can issue writs for restoring fundamental rights. It can deal with cases within the jurisdiction of the state. It exercises superintendence and control over courts below it. Next we will see district court. District court, that courts that hear civil cases at the district level are called district courts. It deals with cases arising in the districts. It considers appeals on decisions given by lower courts. It decides cases involving serious criminal offences. Next we will see subordinate courts. It considers cases of civil and criminal nature. Now we will see Sessions Court. The courts that hear criminal cases are called the Sessions Court. The Panchayat courts. The Panchayat courts deal with civil and criminal cases at the village level. The revenue courts. The revenue courts deal with the cases of land records. It also assesses and collects land revenue from the landholders. Lok Adalat. Lok Adalat was set up to provide speedy justice. It hears and settles the disputes in the language of the people in the public presence. A Lok Adalat is presided over by a retired judge along with a lawyer and a social worker. Cases are put forward without advocates. These cases are solved through mutual consent. The first Lok Adalat was held on 1982 at Junagadh of Gujarat. Fast track courts. These courts were established in the year 2000 with an aim to clear the long pending sessions and other lower judicial cases. Tele-law initiative to provide legal aid and service to the people in rural areas. The Tele-law initiative was launched by the Ministry of Law and Justice in collaboration with the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. People can seek legal advice from the lawyers through video conferencing available at the Common Service Center on the Tele-law portal, a technology-enabled platform. Family courts. Family courts especially handles family law matters. They are civil courts and are utilized for various family related claims such as child custody, divorce, adoption, juvenile issues, etc. Mobile courts. Mobile courts will be of great relief to the rural people. It would create greater awareness about the judicial system among the rural masses and render justice as their doorstep. E-courts. The E-courts project was established in 2005. According to the project, all the courts will get computerized. Judicial Service Center is the part of E-court. The public as well as the advocates can ask directly the case status and next hearing dates with free of cost. Dear children, now we will see role of the judiciary. Role of judiciary can be classified as dispute resolution, judicial revive, upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Now we will see dispute resolution. The judicial system provides a mechanism for resolving disputes between citizens and the government, two state governments, the center and the state governments. Judicial revive. The judicial has the power to declare a law unconstitutional if it believes that the law passed by the parliament is violating the basic structure of the constitution. Upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or High Court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. The Constitution guarantees 6 fundamental rights to Indian citizens as follows: right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. Now we will see jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Original jurisdiction. The Supreme Court can hear dispute for the first time in that court only. It is mainly concerned disputes between the Union and one or more states and between two or more states. Appellate jurisdiction. It can hear appeals against the decisions made by the High Court on the granting of certificate by the High Court. Advisory jurisdiction. The court can report to the President its opinion about a question of the public importance referred to it by the President. Writs jurisdiction. The writs are issued by the Supreme Court under Article 32 and by the High Courts under Article 226 of the Constitution of India. Court of Record. It maintains records of the court proceedings and its decisions are binding upon the lower courts. Now we will see High Court. This is the highest court in the states. Every state in India has a High Court. 2 or 3 states may have a common High Court. For example, Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh is having one High Court. It has original, appellate and writs jurisdiction. Below the High Court, there are a subordinate courts in the states. Now we will see independent and impartial functions of judiciary. The framers of the Constitution established independent and impartial judiciary in India. Independence of judiciary is important for the purpose of fair justice. Democratic country like India, judiciary is the custodian of rights of citizens. Therefore, the framers of the Indian Constitution at the time of framing of our Constitution were concerned about the kind of judiciary our country should have. This concern of the members of the Constituent Assembly was responded by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in the following words: there can be no difference of opinion in the House that our judiciary must be both independent of the executive and must also be competent in it. And the question is how these two objects can be secured. An effective judiciary should be independent as well as accountable. The independence of the judiciary is the independence of the exercise of the functions by the judges in an unbiased manner, that is, free from any external influence. Now we will see the litigation process. There are two different types of legal sections in India. They are civil law and criminal law. Now we will see about civil law. It deals with disputes over money, property, and social matters. Example, disputes relating to land, rent, marriage dispute, etc. A petition has to be filed before the relevant court by the affected parties. Sentences awarded in the form of money, remuneration, and as per the petitioner's claim. Now we will see about criminal law. It deals with conducts or acts that the law defines as offences. Example, theft, murder, women harassment, etc. It usually begins with lodging of an FIR, that is, First Information Report, with a police investigation, after which a case is filed in the court. Punishment is awarded if proven guilty, the accused is sent to jail. Dear children, now I conclude this lesson by saying that judiciary plays a crucial role in a democratic state. Judiciary is the custodian of the Constitution and a guardian of fundamental rights. India, the largest representative democracy of the world, possesses a well-structured and independent judicial system. Thank you, children. God bless you all.